In this part 2 of my Mexico series, I make it to a wedding, continuing along from last episode. After the wedding, I'll hop a bus and I'll go westward to Sayulita, where I'll spend some time on a beach relaxing in the sun, releasing some sea turtles, and getting ready to go back to Guadalajara. In the last episode, I had met Edgar and Fernanda. Edgar's there in a tuxedo shirt, and directly behind his shoulder is Fernanda. After a night partying on the boardwalk, they invited me to their wedding, and this is where we will start. So last night I was invited to a wedding by a couple of guys from the festival that was over here, and I'm really excited to go to it. I'm going to have to go off and try to find a pair of pants. The only pair that I've got are these, and then go possibly get a tie as well. But for today, I'm meeting the photographer somewhere around here for breakfast. I found the restaurant, and after breakfast with Manuel, I was able to start my hunt for the gifts. I gotta get a gift for tonight's wedding. Off looking for a tie. I think it's a Cerrero, and a gift. Walking the plaza of the town, I wasn't quite sure what I was looking for, but I knew that when I found it, I would recognize it immediately. And I certainly did. If you want to make a lot of friends in Mexico, you can walk around with a minion piñata. Everybody loves you. Once I had my wrapping paper, it was now time to find what would go inside the present. I still had a few hours before the wedding. I had gotten my pants and my wrapping paper, and now just had to find the insert. I made it down to the beach and happened to wander upon the Danza de los Voladeros. This is a dance that is used to conjure the rains and is a very traditional dance within the region. There are 5 participants, 4 flyers, and 1 caller. The 4 flyers each represent one of the elements, and the caller represents the connection to the sun. The caller will sing and dance to acknowledge the 4 directions while bending over backwards to dance according to the sun. When it is time, the dancers will fall backwards, spinning around the pole 13 times. The 4 dancers will spin around to equate 52 times, which is the number of years in the Mesoamerican great calendar. Traditionally, the pole will represent a great tree and a connection between the earth and the underworld. As the pole is being erected within the hole, there is often candles, holy relics, scents, and sometimes live animals, chickens and turkeys, representing the fertility of the earth, which are crushed when the pole is erected. I'm going to the wedding tonight, and I needed to get a gift. So I got 2 bottles of tequila, and then in order to find wrapping paper, which I wandered around the town, I couldn't find wrapping paper, so I got a piñata. Then it was off for the walk to the wedding. I still couldn't believe that I made it to the wedding. I found a seat and enjoyed the celebration. After the wedding, I jumped into a car which was promised to be heading towards the reception. I got to a beautiful house that was overlooking the city with fantastic views on top of the harbor and to the lake Chapala. Underneath, the band was rocking, and the first dance had just begun. Downtown's here. Oh, that's my mojito, which is fantastic. Everything about this wedding is fantastic. Except I don't know how to get home. Still couldn't believe it, but a quick thumbs up from the groom assured me that I was in the right spot. Grabbing a mojito, I wandered outside and I found a seat next to some new friends to help celebrate the night with.
I make little YouTube videos. No one watches them but my grandma, but they're kind of fun.
The night wore from a mariachi band into a very festive night of dancing. It was an absolutely wonderful time walking around as the Johnny Walker was flowing, and so were the moves out on the dance floor. Everybody was having a great time.
So I'm at the wedding and having an absolute wonderful time. I don't think I could have had a better night last night than meeting the couple, the bride and the groom and the photographer, and getting an invitation to tonight. This is fantastic. My hand has been holding a cup all night. The food is fantastic. The love here for this couple is astounding. There's a group of people who flew from Shanghai just to come help celebrate. And to show how calm and just muy tranquilo the bride and the groom are, we were out last night until about 2:40 in the morning. I went to bed at 1, they stayed out longer. The bride and the groom, the bride woke up today at 11:30 in the morning. The wedding was at 4. It's just absolutely astounding. I love this.
Strong celebration with the toast. The food just never stopped. There were bags of chips that were assorted with some different sauces. Some were easy to see and to identify. And others made me a little curious as to what they could be.
Steak sauce.
Of course, eating makes you thirsty.
Oh, senor.
I've never been to a wedding which was given such liberal control over how much alcohol was in your drink.
FERNANDA.
Last night at the wedding, as we were leaving, everybody got a hangover kit. Let's see what's inside, because I'm feeling like it could be a really good idea right now. The wedding was fantastic. There's a after party pal, something to help you metabolize alcohol. You've got a emergency kit. Pacto baseball. Advil. And 2 mints. I'm gonna down this stuff like it's vitamins. Going from the wedding, all of the guys were given bottles of tequila, while the girls were given bags of candy because evidently girls don't drink. But got a couple of these to head out. And then, partway through the wedding, they open up a bag and start handing out scarves. So I got a beautiful, beautiful scarf that I'm very excited to rock when I get back to Minneapolis. A nice memento of the night's evening. I couldn't have had a better night. Taking that bus to Guadalajara in just a couple of minutes here. It's the day after the wedding, and I'm going to go to a beach, Sayulita, where I'm really looking forward to just relaxing on the beach. It's the day after the wedding, and those recovery bags had a packet of pills, and they're supposed to help your body metabolize alcohol faster. So I took 4 or 5 of them. I'm feeling really jittery, and I went to see what the pills are made of. It's all that B12 energy supplement. I feel like I could run to Sayulita. Well, I didn't run to Sayulita. I still arrived after a grueling 7-hour bus ride. A beautiful, rewarding moment was found for me on the beach when I watched the fishermen in their late evening harvest. Many of the fishermen were net fishermen who were identified to the pods of the fish using the birds. Watching the fishermen, I was approached by a girl named Hannah who asked me if I was going to the sea turtle release. Hell yeah, I'm going to the sea turtle release. I'll just follow you there, as I didn't know about it. We did find the turtles.
That's probably the average size for most turtles.
Really? That's nuts. I was talking to
We were greeted by a knowledgeable turtle guide who walked us through a turtle sanctuary and showed us a couple of different sea turtles. And then the great moment began.
Yeah, those are probably...
oh my
They're
gosh.
either flatbacks or they're leather.
Down to Mexico, and it was like, oh geez, that's kind of a hassle to be dealing with, especially if I'm here on my own.
¿Hay alguien que quiera la explicación en español?
It's perfecto.
Okay, well, welcome, and first of all, thank you for being here. We are just part of the big group of volunteers of Campamento Tortuguero Sayulita.
Our young tour guide from earlier arrived with 2 of the buckets full of sea turtles, to which Hannah and I graciously released into the wild. It was a proud moment, and we did possibly race them. It's just hard to tell who won.
Great.
You get to see on the side of the line.
That's really awesome.
Look out for that little guy just sneaking near you, Alex.
The turtles were immediately hard to recognize, and I just picked one that seemed like it had a good shot. 1 out of 100 sea turtles will make it into adulthood. Many of them will be eaten later in the day in their first 24 hours. It was kind of sad and amusing to watch the waves come in and take the sea turtles to their new home. As the waves took the sea turtles home, it was time for Hannah and I to go off and find a perfect margarita. We did find a perfect margarita, and then enjoyed a few beers on the beach watching a storm roll in. I spent time the next day enjoying the surf and looking for my new turtle friends. Statistically though, most of them were dead. Heading back to Sayulita, I saw some of the youngest beer pong players I have ever seen. Their dedication to the craft was impressive as they were practicing at 10 a.m. I couldn't play them, however, as I had to go back to Guadalajara to catch my flight the next morning. Arriving with Whitney into Guadalajara, I had spent the evening walking around and taking in the old Centro Historical. I was wandering around here when I was approached by a man who told me that this area was not quite safe for people like me, and that I should wander back into a more secure part of the city, which I did after enjoying a whole meal of tacos, 12 for 45 cents. I made it back into my hotel and rested up in time for a 3 a.m. journey to the airport. I'm in Guadalajara Airport. One couple behind me. And my flight's at 6. I did that thing where you show up really quick and early for an international departure. I know the U.S. is going to ding me. They always ding me with my passport stamps. They don't like some of the countries that I've been to aren't really cooperating, and it looks suspicious, so I always get dinged. That and frequent travel. But I'm the only person here. There's nobody else in the airport except for those 2 people and me. I'm really excited. At this point, there was nothing left but to wander the airport looking for things to do. I seeked high and low, trying to find something that would keep me interested and occupied.
yeah, and cabin crew, so I'm a flight attendant, so just got 24 hours here, so yeah,
That's perfect.
yeah, it's nice.
After meeting the flight attendant at the Bean, I set up my camera to do a couple of shots around Chicago as I explored a city that I've always stopped in for a layover, but I've never really wandered about. Many years ago in high school, I had visited Chicago, and it was fun to see Chicago with a more modern set of eyes. There's a lot to do in Chicago, and I'm excited to make my way back one day.
Pardon?
On my way back today, I was talking to the person next to me, and she was very curious as to why I leave the country so much. And I said it could be that it's just in my DNA. And she proposed that it could be something else too. I said, yeah, maybe it is external. I don't know. Could be a couple of different influences. I wasn't gone that long, just about 2 weeks, but it was long enough that I just went up and asked a guy how to get to Navy Pier, but I did it in Spanish. If I thought that the Mexicans couldn't understand my Spanish, this guy had no idea what I was talking about. Just got on the flight. I was very convinced I was missing it. Nope. Nobody else on the plane. Awesome. A thank you and a shout out to Heidi. I wouldn't have gone to that creepy museum if not for you. And an insurmountable thank you to Edgar and Fernanda. It was a pleasure to celebrate with you, and your love for others being just a sliver of what you have for each other. Wow, I will be telling your story for years to come. And to a great time in Sayulita with Heidi. I don't have a picture of you, so this will have to do. And with the editing done, I hope that you enjoyed watching the Mexico series as much as I had fun creating it. I'm going to be sticking around in Minneapolis at least for the next week, and I'll let you know where the next adventure is. You can always follow and subscribe on Facebook at Cricket's Tales, and check out the blog, www.cricketstales.com. Special thanks to Pat Patterson for help on the music, and I'll catch you next time.